to Photoshop Radio, and today we're going to be talking about some new design techniques and tricks using the Magic Wand tool and selections. Okay guys, welcome to today's tutorial. I'm just sitting here at home, going to make this video for you guys. This is basically if you missed the last time we learned about the Magic Wand. Those were covered a couple days ago. And I know there were some people that were missing that and still trying to figure out how to get rid of those pesky white backgrounds that are on some of the pictures that you download. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of a white background behind some of your elements. And it's actually really easy. So if we go to Photoshop here, you're going to see I've got my strawberry, and you see these little water pistols. I downloaded a picture of those to use for my funny design. This design of this strawberry kind of dressed up like a cowboy here. And so I want to show you how to do that because a lot of people were having trouble. So if I go to my downloads page, you're going to see there's that squirt gun that I downloaded, and if I bring that into Photoshop, you're going to see it comes in with a white background. And so I'm actually going to move that up to the top layer so that I can see it and work on it kind of on its own. So here we go, and I'm actually going to, it comes in as a smart object, so of course we have to right click on the side of the layer there and then just click rasterize. Okay, so I'm going to transform, so that's Command T. And I'm going to use that keyboard shortcut Command T to size that down just a little bit because I want to make for sure that I'm grabbing all of this white area when I do my selection. So I'm just going to hit enter and place that there, and it looks everything looks good here. So the trick to the Magic Wand is basically a really cool way. It really is a magical tool, guys. It's a really cool way to get rid of white backgrounds, or really it works best with any kind of a solid color, an area that has a solid color to it. Not so much with things like checkered backgrounds or things with different colors in the background, or if you've downloaded a picture and there's actually something in the background behind what you're trying to isolate. The Magic Wand isn't going to work so well for that. For that, you may want to just actually trace or cut it out with an eraser or something like that. But for something like this with a white background or a solid color background, the Magic Wand is going to work perfect. So if you go to the top here to your Move tool, you'll go about 1, 2, 3, or 4 tools down, and you might actually see something that looks like this that says Object Selection Tool. So if you guys didn't know this, you can click and hold your click. So hold down when you click, and you should see more options pop up for every single one of these tools. So I'm going to click right here on the Object Selection Tool, and about the third option down, you should see Magic Wand. So I'm going to grab my Magic Wand, and you can see it actually looks like a little wand, and I'm just going to click in this area. You want to make for sure you're on the right layer, but I'm going to click this white area. And when you do that, you're going to see these little lines that kind of pop up. Now on Photopea, I don't think they move, but it's the same thing. So you see here, I've got these lines moving around the water pistol and the edge of the white area. So what this is called, graphic designers call this marching, they call these the marching ants because they kind of look like little ants marching in a line. But what it's really called is this is called an active selection. So this is what we call an active selection. And when you see an active selection, that's basically telling Photoshop, okay, I want you to only focus on this element. So once I've got all of those white pixels selected, what I can do is literally, it's this easy, guys. On your keyboard, you see the delete key? Just press the delete key and watch. Voila, all of those pixels are gone. And I can do the same thing with this part right here inside of the trigger. Select those pixels, hit delete, and they're gone. So you see here in the middle, I'm still left with the active selection. So Photoshop will, and Photopea as well, it will not let you move on to do something new or something different until you get off of that selection. So we have to do what's called deselect. To deselect, I'm going to teach you a new keyboard shortcut. It's just Command D. Get it? D for deselect. You can also deselect by just going back up to your square selection tool and then just clicking. You just click anywhere and that will also deselect, okay? So as long as you have a selection going, you can't move on to another tool. Photoshop is going to be focused on that area. So you want to deselect, okay? So now you can kind of see how I was able to go back to my transform and basically size that down and flip it around and rotate it. Just as a reminder, guys, to rotate, you can't click on the corner. You have to move your mouse kind of a little bit of a ways away, and then you can rotate, okay? But you can see how I was able to basically do that and make it look like he was, you know, holding the squirt gun there. Okay, so I don't need that layer, so I'm just going to turn it off. And now the selection tool is really cool because we're talking about not only the magic wand, but selection tools as well. So the magic wand, if you didn't know this, is actually a type of selection tool, but it's not the only kind. There's actually a couple more. So basically these first 2 or 3 below the move tool, these 3 tools right here are all actually different kinds of selection tools. We have the magic wand, which is really good at selecting solid colors. But then you also have this one up here. We have the rectangular selection tool, which will just allow you to draw selections as rectangles or squares. And then if you click and hold, you'll see there's also one for like lines, and you actually have one that's a circular selection tool as well. So I can select stuff in a circle as well. Then below that you see we've got a lasso tool, so I can actually free form and draw a lasso around whatever it is I want to select. And then there's also another one called polygon selection or polygon lasso, and that will allow you to basically trace over whatever you're trying to select by just clicking, kind of like connect the dots. So you just click and click, and then you go all the way around, and when you complete the circuit, you'll see that little circle pop up right there. You see how that's kind of popping up on next to the tool. So you can go around in a circle and basically select. This is really good for, sorry guys, I just hit the microphone. This is really good for when you're just trying to trace out an object. And the circle and the square selection tool are also really good for doing quick shapes. So say for instance I want to do a quick shape. I'm going to go ahead and turn back on the water pistol here. Let's say I want to do a shape. So I could actually draw a circle with the circular selection tool, and then I could pick a color, and let's just pick red for the sake of just an example here. And then I could actually paint inside of the selection, and then I can come back to the selection tool and just click and deselect. So it's really cool, guys. It's a really quick way to make shapes. And so, oops, look what I did, guys. I did that on the same layer as the water pistol. Well, guess what? Not to worry. The selection tool can also help us with that as well. So let's say you do something on the same layer by accident. You can actually take a selection tool, select one of the objects that you want to separate from the other, then right-click inside of the selection, and then you are going to click Layer via Cut. And what that's going to do is it's going to cut out this thing that I've selected, which in this case is the circle, the red circle here. And it's going to cut it out and put it on a new layer. So I'm going to click Layer via Cut and check it out. It indeed has put it on its own new layer, and I can go up to my Move tool, and then I can move that around independent of the water pistol now. So you see the selection tool, what it does. You see what it does? It basically just isolates whatever you want it to isolate and will affect only that one thing. Okay. One more thing I want to show you guys is, remember whenever you are transforming on Photopea.com, and we'll just type that in here. And remember also, when you're opening up your project, you have to do open from computer. So I'm going to open from computer, open up my project here. And then you see there is my water pistol. And so let's say I'm going to try to transform this. So in Photopea, I can't do Command T. I have to go up to this little box and click on Transform Controls, and that will give me my transform box where I can size and rotate. Inside of Photoshop, however, you can do Command T. So there's Command T. I've got my transform box. And so just as a reminder, on Photopea, when you're transforming, you have to, if you want to get off of this transform box, so let's say for some weird reason I wanted to stretch out my water pistol, and let's say I was happy with that, and I wanted to get off of the transform. So to do that, remember, you have to go back to your arrow tool, your move tool, and then you have to uncheck transform controls, okay? So to transform, you have to click the box, check the box, and then to place it, you have to uncheck, okay? So just a quick reminder about those things, guys. I think that was really about all I wanted to show you guys. One other quick tip I have for you today is when you're using a brush or an eraser tool, if you want to be able to size your tool, your brush size quickly, you can do that by going up to this little arrow, and you can see there's the size, and you can also increase or decrease the feather of the brush as well. But if you want to do that quickly, there are there's the bracket tools right on your keyboard. You can do up bracket or right bracket to make that bigger, or down bracket to make that smaller. So that can help you to make your brush size smaller or bigger really quick. So that's another basically keyboard shortcut there. And the bracket tools are kind of the ones that look like parentheses, but instead of parentheses, they're more like, they look like little, they look like squares. They're straight. And so I'll put the graphic of that at the bottom of the screen there. So those are your bracket tools. Alrighty, guys, that's it for today. Remember just to use your time wisely. Today we're just doing the pop quiz. You've probably already done that before you watch this video. And then for number 3, we're doing design workshop time. So just continue to work on your collages and search for elements off of Google if you need to. And if you have any questions, just please let me know. God bless.